Hello, we're going to be working on creating a ice cube tray in Fusion 360. So first thing you want to make sure is that you click on your little file icon in the top corner here. Make sure you click on New Design so you have your design ready here. The second thing we want to do is just click this arrow right here to open up this drop down, and you can see the units we are in right now are millimeters. We're going to change our units today. So click on that little pencil icon and click down, and we're going to change to inches right here. So tap on inches to make sure you're on inches, and then just hit OK. All right, so first thing we want to do is we want to get our initial sketch down. So go up to the top left corner here, and there is the Create Sketch icon. So click on that once, and you can see you could choose the plane you want to use. I'm going to use the XY plane, the red and the green. So you can see I've highlighted it right here. I'm going to click that once, and that will take me into my sketch view. I'm just using my mouse scroll wheel here to zoom in a bit. Okay, next up, we want to put a rectangle down. So let's click on 2-point rectangle. Now, we don't want to use a 2-point rectangle. We want to use a different type of rectangle. So click on the little plus sign here, and you can see there are 3 different types of rectangles we can choose from. We're going to choose the center rectangle, that one right there. So just click on your center point here and drag out, and you can see we have some dimensions. So for the length of our sketch, we're going to go 12 inches. Okay, don't hit enter on your keyboard. Hit tab. So hit tab, I'll go over here, and I'm going to put in 4 inches. Okay, that's pretty much ready to go. And then I'm just going to hit enter on my keyboard, and that sets it. I'm just going to click on that and move that out of the way. I'm just going to zoom out just a little bit with my scroll wheel. You can see this is all ready to go now. So I want to extrude this, basically. So I'm going to right-click my mouse button and just turn it a little bit sideways. You can see altering my view here. And I'm going to hit E on my keyboard, E for extrude. So I'm going to tap E once, and you can see it's going to ask me which direction do I want to extrude and how far. So I'm going to type in 2 inches for an extrusion, and then I'm just going to hit enter on my keyboard. And we have our brick, very similar to our Lego brick here. And when I'm moving like this, I'm just tapping down my center mouse wheel to pan. Okay, now I need to create the holes for the ice cube holders. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on Create Sketch, and we're going to make sure we're on the top of our brick that we've created, and tap once, and that's going to take us into our sketch plane again. And we're going to create a rectangle down here to act as our first hole. So I'm going to click here, hover down here, and I'm just going to kind of drag out. And you can see I have my dimensions here. Now I'm not going to tap on my mouse because I want to enter dimensions for this. So I'm going to go, let's see, 1.6. And let's see, for the width, I'm just going to get tapped. Sorry, for the length. I am going to put in, let's see, 1.2. Okay, so 1.6. and 1.2 for our dimensions, and I'm just going to hit enter on my keyboard, so that is set. Now, currently this is a little bit far from the corner, and far from the corner here, so we want to actually dimension this so it's sitting in a very specific spot. So to add dimensions to it, we're going to hit D on our keyboard, D for dimensions, and you can see this little dimension symbol pops up here. And we're just going to choose what we want to dimension. So we're going to click on this line here, and you can see a little dimension. And then I'm going to click on this line here. And then if I pull out, you can see it will now dimension that line. So it's going to pull it a bit closer. So I'm going to tap again, and it says how far do you want to pull this towards the edge. So I'm going to put 0.2 for now. I'm going to hit enter. And so I'm going to do the same for the bottom. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit to show you here. Tap here and tap here, and I'm just going to pull out. I'm going to make that 0.2. So I'm going to tap my mouse one more time, and I'm going to tap 0.2. And you can see now this is exact dimension 0.2 decimal 2 from this location from here to here and from here to here, which is going to make it a lot more accurate. Okay, pretty good. Now we're just going to click Finish Sketch. And what we're going to do is we are going to click on this center piece that we've created, and we're going to extrude again by clicking E, or you can tap extrude right there. Now for this extrusion, we're actually going to pull down. So let's pull down, we can put in an exact amount here. Let's go negative 1.3. And make sure you put the negative in there, otherwise it will basically push it up and it will extrude out. Now, the second thing, as you can see, it's on a cut operation, so it's cutting down through this piece. And another thing we want to do is this taper angle right here, because ice cube trays are not square, they're tapered. So we're going to put in a 10-degree taper on the bottom of that. Oh, sorry, not 10, minus 10 degrees. You can see it tapers it inwards. And everything else looks pretty good. You can see there's the objects to cut, and we're cutting through the body right here. So you can see what we're cutting through. I'm going to click OK. Now that is looking not bad. What we want to do now is we just kind of want to fillet these edges here. So we're going to hit F on our keyboard, and that takes us to the fillet command. And you just want to tap. You can see they turn a darker kind of black color, and I'm just going to tap every single edge in here. So just kind of go around. Make sure you're not tapping the face. Make sure you're tapping the edge, and just get every single edge. I've almost got all of them. I think, am I missing one? Did I get that one down there? I did. Okay, so now you can see there's all blue. Oh, I missed one in the corner here. So all blue. And all you're going to do is you can push this in. You can see it gives us a bit of a fillet. So I'm going to stick it at 1 point. Yeah, that looks pretty reasonable like that. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to hit, you can see here is the fillet right here. It's decimal 131. I'm going to hit OK, and that will complete that section. Now what we want to do is we want to create, 8 of these across this way and another 8 up here. So to do that, we're going to use the pattern command. So I'm going to click on create right here. So click that. You can see here's our pattern command right here. And we're going to use a rectangular pattern. So click rectangular pattern once. And it basically asks you what pattern type do you want to use. I mean, you know, selection. We're going to use a feature pattern type. So we're going to click on features. And the features we're going to use, see if I click that, it chooses our fillet feature. You can see there's our fillets. And we're also going to use our extrude feature. So it's going to duplicate that piece. So we've got 2 objects selected. That's great in our features on our timeline here. And then we're going to choose a direction. And the direction we want to go is this way. So I'm going to click on that line there. We want 8 of them. So we're going to go that way. You can see if you actually pull the arrow, it starts to pull out your pieces. My computer's running a bit slow, but I'm going to pull them out to the edge right there. Now you can fine tune this distance. I'm just going to eyeball it for now. And actually, maybe I will get myself in a better position here. Looking from the top. There we go. That'll give me a bit better. All right, so that's going to show me my position a bit better. I'm going to click down, and also we want to go up. We want to duplicate it here. So we're going to go down here under quantity. We're going to go 2, and we're going to grab this arrow, and you can pull up, and you can see that just duplicates everything and makes a copy. So I'm going to pull this down about there. Looks reasonable. You can see you can be exact with the distance. I'm just kind of eyeballing it, and then I'm just going to click OK. So this should have duplicated the whole thing. Now it's looking a lot more like an ice cube tray. Still a bit strange though. Okay, what we need to do now is we need to shell this thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to type S for design shortcuts, and we're going to type SH. You can see there's the shell command right there. The shell command is also right up here if you want to grab it. I just tap S on my keyboard for a design shortcut. So click shell, and we're going to take this side, this face, this face, this face, and the bottom face, and we're going to shell this. Now, if you pull up, actually, oh, yeah, it's pretty tight. You don't have a lot of space to shell here. You can see, I'm just going to maybe do it by, let's say decimal 3. Let's see what that looks like. It might even be decimal 0.3. Yeah. Oops, decimal 0.3. Let's see. Looks a bit, yeah, that looks pretty good. So decimal 0.3 looks pretty reasonable, although maybe decimal 0.7, that looks a little bit better. Okay, so decimal 0.7 seems like a pretty good measurement to shell it with, and we're going to click OK. All right, it'll take a second for my computer to handle that. We've got a pretty nice looking ice cube tray here. One other thing, it's kind of sharp on the edges here. So what you could do on the edges here, you can see right here, we can click on that, And actually, before we click on anything, let's hit F, and we're going to grab that little corner there. I'm just rotating around that small corner there. Just kind of go this way. Sorry, I'm just going to back out a little bit. My computer is really choppy right now. I'm going to zoom in a little bit this way. I'm going to tap that. I'm going to zoom in even more. That corner there. And I'm just going to rotate again and get my final corner right here. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit right there. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom out a tiny bit, and I'm just going to push in a little bit, and it rounds those corners out. And I'm just going to hit OK. You can see all the corners are a lot better now. Pretty nice. So we have a not bad looking ice cube tray. Okay, hopefully this tutorial has been helpful, and we'll see you in the next one.